What's up, true believers? The eternal truth. The eternal truth. The eternal truth. The eternal truth behind our modern mythology.
What is up, true believers? It is Mason here with Comics and Crosses, where we discuss the eternal truths behind our modern mythology. And today is Tuesday, January 18th. And today, normally we are on, we're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. Central with this Comics and Crosses morning show. But yesterday was kind of a day I took with the family. Everybody kind of needed to recover a little bit and sleep in, and kids were a bit. So here I am on a Tuesday, a very special Tuesday, and helping us get going for the week of comics, the week of crosses, the week, whatever it may hold. So I hope everybody's doing well out there. I just made my coffee, so you're experiencing your start to your day with me, Authentico. So I hope you guys had a good weekend. A lot of NFL playoff football, if you're into that. I am. My Niners pulled off a crazy win 2 weeks in a row. Actually, well, it got a little crazy, but I expected them to beat the Cowboys. But and I'm not too far from Dallas now, so I wore my Niners sweatshirt yesterday, and I thought about going into the stores at the mall and asking them if the cowboy gear was on discount now. Boom! Need some sound effects in here. Need some sound effects. My co-host Bat Monkey is not with me. After talking about it, we both decided that that a vigilante crime fighter shrouded in mystery is probably best left out of the spotlight. So, it was a professional decision for both me and for him. So no hard feelings there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, on the last episode, we had a special guest, Bat Monkey, come in for our discussion on Batman versus Detective Chimp. And today, actually, I got to thinking, because yesterday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Obviously, somebody who represents a lot in our society. Somebody who represented not just a opinion. Today we have a lot of people that represent opinions. But Martin Luther King Jr., and I'm just going to share from what I've been taught and what I know of him, the things I've read. I have a great book on speeches that change the world, and discusses him and his "I Have a Dream" speech. And although he gave many powerful talks, he was actually a preacher. He was a Christian, I think a Baptist preacher. And so when it came to commanding the attention of the room, he had that wired into him. Not a perfect man, not a flawless man, as nobody is really, except for Jesus Christ. But like I was saying, he had more than an opinion. He had a stance. He had principles. He had a fight worth fighting for. And I think that's really profound and really special to see, to think about nowadays, when everyone has a voice. Obviously, I have my own channel here. There's so many more people out there creating content about different subjects, things we love. But it's really profound to think that he made a stance for something that was not yet solidified, against something that was evil, against the mistreatment, the unfair treatment of people of color, and really the thing is, though, he was pushing up against not just maybe laws, not just Jim Crow, not just, but he understood, because he was a man of faith, I would say, that he believed in the spiritual. He believed that there's more than just what is on the surface. And so he was actually fighting against ideology, fighting against um, uh, evil principles and mentalities, evil conditions of the heart that were uh, perpetuating racism, perpetuating an inaccurate, disaligned with the creator's view of the value of human life. When you can look at someone and say they are less than me, they are less than human, then you have a corrupted ideology. You have a corrupted, broken view of the world, which has been distorted from what the creator intended, I would propose. So, so yeah, so man, it just gets me fired up just thinking about the stance that he took and the action that he put behind it. He was going on marches, that he was pushing against the status quo, and obviously made a profound impact. Obviously, lost his life because of the stance that he took. Because why are people racist? Why are people? I know this is a comic book show, but now I'm talking about it, so let's talk about it. Why are people racist? Here's the thing. The problem for some people is that we all have a creator and we are all created equal. That's what Martin Luther King Jr. was talking about. We are all created equal. And for some people, that is a offensive notion. Why? Because apart from God, we seek to justify ourselves by our own devices, meaning that if you don't believe that we all have a creator, that we are all the same, which is what I am saying, what I believe, then you're going to be in a situation where you need to make yourself more valuable in your own eyes for your mind to be able to cope. Essentially, without God, without a belief in God, you need to make yourself God in order for your worldview to be at ease. And if you're going to make yourself God, then that means you're going to make other people less than you. So racism is a really ugly thing. But again, I just being inspired by MLK Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, just wanted to talk about the subject. And then it comes up, it comes up in comics now, and in movies, in TV, in shows. It's funny because I feel like there was a while where racism wasn't making national headlines and things like this, but then obviously with a lot of political unrest and a lot of just clashing of people's ideologies, you really saw in the past few years, a lot of ugly things start to bubble to the surface, and be that because they started happening again, be that because they were always happening, be that because national attention was on them now, whatever was going on. It's interesting because now we see people wanting to make sure that there's a voice heard. And what better medium than comics, really, to give voice to so many different kinds of people. Although I would say that there are a ton of Black characters that I have always loved. I think Mr. Terrific is probably my favorite comic book character of color. I loved the Justice Society of America. If you don't know who Mr. Terrific is, look him up. I put him actually on the thumbnail for this video, and he is a really cool character. Mr. Terrific was introduced in the he was introduced before that, but it made famous, I think, by the Justice Society of America. What's up, Lost in Comics? Thanks for joining us this morning. We're just talking about some of the influence of Martin Luther King Jr. and the idea of Black characters in comics. And I'm sharing about my favorite Black comic book character. I think, maybe there's more, but I definitely love Mr. Terrific. He is one of the smartest characters in the DC universe, probably the smartest, maybe the smartest. He might be the DC equivalent of Reed Richards, which, if you don't know, equals hella smart. So, and he is sort of a self-made man who's built up a technology company, who uses technology to his advantage, is also I believe, like an All-American athlete. Just a really, just a winner, Mr. Terrific is. There's, Black Lightning is kind of famous from being included in Batman's comics and, Batman the Outsiders, and he's also a long-standing one. There's Luke Cage. And I like, and I bring some of these characters up because sometimes there becomes these social issues of the hour that, like, oh, we need more women represented in comics or in movies or TVs, or we need more people of color, this or that. And I think for some of us longstanding fans, we feel like, man, there's female characters, there's black characters, there's all kinds of characters that I loved a long time ago before you guys were talking about it. Like Sigourney Weaver in Alien was totally a boss. I think I'd go with Luke Cage or Lucius Fox prior to Future State. Yeah. Luke Cage is, he's got a ton of history there. Power Man, he was, Storm. Storm's a good one. Yeah. Gotta love Storm. She's a super powerful character, a mutant, one of the X-Men. And there's a lot of characters who've been making huge impact before it was like a thing, like we needed to make it happen, So I would say too, though, that Martin Luther King's dream of people not being judged by the color of their skin, but by the substance of their character, is, if you think about it, here's what I thought when I was kind of thinking about meditating on this and all the great messages that he was proposing, was that for somebody to be judged by the color of their skin is essentially, now obviously literally it means the color of their skin, but he's basically saying, I want to go from a place where you are snap judging me by history and by what you've been told about what a person like me is, or what we mean to society or mean to you, and getting to know me. I want you to get to know me. I want my people to be known by who they are to you. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's why we all need voice. I think that's why it is important that there's representation of different characters' voices, And while I'm not for cheap representation, I'm not for when sometimes in movies or TV shows, big studios throw in a character that's, represents this group of people, but they have no substance to them. That's a disappointment, I feel like, when we have a character present, but we have no voice for them. I think that's just a loss at the same time. But there are a lot of characters that have made a big impact. I love Cassandra Cain, Batgirl. I like her so much that I am disappointed that there's kind of like other Batgirls crowding her situation in the Bat family. The Bat family has become pretty big, actually, as of late. And there's there's Signal, there's Batwoman, there's Batgirl, there's I don't even know what they call Spoiler now. I mean, she's always going to be Spoiler to me, and as far as I know, she's supposed to be dead. But but hey, that's just the way I look at it. But there's a lot of great characters out there. Maybe for those of us who are here in the chat, any other characters of color that you've really loved, just based on the substance of their character? Are there characters whose characters have substance? Let me know which ones you really love. I definitely, like I say, love Mr. Terrific. John Stewart, Green Lantern, is just a total boss. He's always been like just a BA like leader. Just a man's man kind of Green Lantern, has made it into comics and cartoons and shows, and so his notoriety has kind of grown outside of and beyond the comics, not just Hal Jordan. And And hopefully he's going to be in the new HBO Max Green Lantern show. I don't know where that thing is at. I mean, DC has a problem of their projects being stuck in development hell and then coming out and being a little bit garbage. But hopefully the new Green Lantern series will have John Stewart in it. I hear that they're not going to include Hal Jordan, so I don't know what direction exactly they're going with that. But yeah, so that is what's going on there. I hope that I hope that this little talk has kind of reminded you of some of the great inspirational things that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has said, and the power of his message. And for those of you who missed the beginning, I just talked a bit about how what he stood for was not an opinion. We got a ton of opinions are like, and everybody's got them. And there's a lot now in the social media world. But he had a true stance and a true conviction. He really was fighting for and against something with action, with what he was actually doing. It wasn't just voicing some opinion out into the world. And so the other thing that I wanted to get to today was just talk about some of the comics that are coming out this week. What are you guys picking up? You can let me know in the chat what maybe you're most excited about. I got several things on my pull, actually. One of the things that recommendation from Chris, if you're still on, was for Knighted from AWA Upshot. So I managed to get my shop had the back issues, so I'm gonna be catching up on that storyline. But let's see here. So Amazing Spider-Man has been coming out, I think, like 3 times a month. So I'm still reading that. Amazing Spider-Man is really good right now, in my opinion. IMO. Moon Knight. Moon Knight, his trailer just dropped. What did you guys think about that? Let's see. Knighted is great stuff. Yeah, fun stuff. Looking forward to digging into that. Moon Knight has been a solid series I think it's from Jed McKay. With art by Federico Sabatini. So Moon Knight has been really, really cool. If you heard that the Disney Plus show is coming out and you don't know much about Moon Knight, check out that series. It's really it's a really cool kind of almost like it's almost like he's a private eye or like local protector to a neighborhood, and then doing his Moon Knight thing. And for those of you who know the history of the character, he deals with mental health. There's a lot that touches on mental health with Moon Knight. He's kind of got split personalities and got some issues going on, but he's a real cool character. We Only Find Them When They're Dead comes back this week, and so that's from Boom Studios and from Al Ewing, writer of the Immortal Hulk series and some other great stuff. I think he did Avengers for a while. Al Ewing, this series is an indie one. This one is something that is a very fascinating concept. It may not be for you because it's a real slow read, but I find that the more it goes on, the more kind of depth and layers there are to the story. And this is about people in space in the future where they find these dead gods in space and they harvest pieces of them because they're a great resource used for technology, used for food, used for all kinds of things. And so it really gets into the idea of what people worship and kind of the psychology and mentality behind that. So it's a really fascinating story. Definitely be worth it in a trade. And, it might be too late to pick up the back issues, but, try to check out the first volume, see what you think. By the end of it, it really opens up a door to some interesting concepts. So the other big one that I'm excited about, trying to see past my microphone here, is The Knight, Batman the Knight. Now, I know there is a ton of Batman stuff out there. There is a lot of Batman, as always, right now and forever. But I have been wanting Chip Zdarsky to write a Batman series. I wish he would take over the regular Batman title, but he is doing one called Batman the Knight. And this is going to be a kind of like a Smallville type, well, maybe not quite, but it is a story of Bruce Wayne before he becomes Batman and his journey to become Batman, with art by, Carmine Di Giandomenico. Sorry, I'm probably butchering that name, but The origin of Batman and his never-ending fight against crime in Gotham City is modern mythology. But what about the story in between? How did an angry, damaged young man grow into the most accomplished detective and crime fighter the world has ever known? How did the Dark Knight begin? So, yeah, it's Chip Zdarsky though. You gotta get it. I mean, I just was so excited when I saw he was writing Batman something because he has been killing it on Daredevil. Has really nailed the essence and the just mentality of Daredevil, and I think I've been loving that series, and so I'm excited to see what he does with this kind of little less charted portion of Batman, Bruce Wayne's history. So that one is coming out. I'm real excited about that, and there's a new Ben Reilly Spider-Man. So if you have been reading, amazing, and I believe that this series is going to fill in some of the past stories of Ben Reilly Spider-Man, I think is the kind of the angle they're going with it. The Lost Years, or wait, no, that's something else. But hey, J.M. D. Mateus and David Baldion on art. So I'm going to give that one a check just because I've really been enjoying Ben's story in Amazing Spider-Man. So yeah, anything else you guys are picking up, let me know in the comments. I know there's a lot of good stuff coming out this week. And I hope that your books are on time. I hope that your shop is good to you, and it's a great week. We got DC stuff out today, and then obviously the rest of the stuff should be tomorrow. Although my indie books, with Diamond has been late on the indie books past few weeks. So I still haven't got my indies from last week, and so a little bit of a bummer because probably my favorite book from the week would have been in that stack of indies. So anyway, that is what's up, people. Thank you for starting your morning with me. If you have, thank you for watching this on replay, if that's what you did. Truly, 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 God bless you all, and I hope you have an awesome week. I hope that you're looking to get to know people and be enriched by the content of people's character. I hope that you are focused on having great character rather than being a quick representation of something. I will have a good one. You too, Chris. And all right, I will catch you guys tomorrow for our Wednesday show, and we will be I don't know what we'll be talking about. That's TBD, but it's going to be good. I promise you that. So God bless everybody. I will